Hi guys, it's me, Chaser HD, and welcome to another set of reveals. As today, me and Nib are going to analyse the new Toro Rosso car for 2019, the STR14, and look at Williams' new car, and more importantly, their new livery. So what we're going to do first is analyse the Toro Rosso car, look at the new aero pieces and what we think of the car and how it looks, and then we will get on to the Williams livery and car and pretty much do the same. Analyze the aero pieces, look at the livery, how it looks, and give our opinions. And don't forget, guys, you can interact as always in the chat, and we'll come to you as often as we can. But we are going to again look at first the Toro Rosso car for 2019. And just like with my Haas reveal video or stream, I had Nibbler along with me, and today I also have him along as well for not only the Toro Rosso analysis but also the Williams. Nib, how are you doing, mate?
I'm doing well, mate, and it's certainly been an interesting day of car reveals.
Yeah, but it definitely has. We have a lot to go through, and we are going to go through it right now. So let's first go on to this side shot of the Toro Rosso. Now, the biggest thing I picked up on when looking at this shot was the barge boards. One, they don't look like they're really developed at all, and also they're not moved forward enough to the point where I think the new rules say you have to move it forward. They actually should be moved forward a bit more. And yeah, there's also not that much detail, but also, yeah, just on last year's car, you guys will notice that that area of the car, the barge boards, the mirrors, that side of the car, it was very developed. There was parts hanging off of it everywhere. And with this, it looks very, very basic. Again, this is probably only a launch spec of the car. When they get to testing, I assume it's going to be much more developed. But still, it does look very, I guess, basic in that area. Nib, from this side shot, what have you noticed about the new Toro Rosso car?
Well, yeah, they've definitely left out a lot of detail in the barge board areas. They've just left parts of that off deliberately because if you look back to the end of 2018, this area of the car was a lot more developed than it is right now. So just playing some cat and mouse, not wanting to get all their new stuff out quite yet. Of course, we will see that at Barcelona for the first test. But yep, this is a pattern that has developed over the last couple of years. The teams being a lot more sneaky with their car launches. But I must say the way the Coke bottle, the rear end of the car is all tucked in and packaged looks absolutely beautiful
Hmm.
as usual on these cars. But yeah, not nothing really too much to speak about when looking from this side-on shot of the Toro Rosso.
Yeah, not much, again, development from that side of the car, it looks like. But again, as Nib said, teams, they don't tend to really show what they really have for testing, for example, until they actually get to testing, because they don't want other teams to look at their car and think, oh, we're in trouble, or they don't actually look like they put certain parts on the car that we have. So that's why they do that. And then we have this angle, and really the most important angle of the car, the front of the car. And here is the front wing. And the biggest thing to notice is the front wing and how much simpler it looks compared to the 2018 front wings. I will show you a comparison in just a moment, but I've also noticed that I can't remember how many layers or elements were on the Haas front wing, but I think there's more here. I think there's, hold on, one, two, three, four, five. I think there. I don't know how many Haas had. It might have been four, at
I
most
think it was
five.
five.
Yeah,
I think it was five.
it's probably five. But I noticed at the top of the front wing, they've gone for another small one because they're trying to get, of course, as much aerodynamics as they can. And of course, they are going to do that. And well, Nib, anything really you noticed from this shot?
Well, the main thing that I have noticed from this front shot is the suspension, is mounted a lot lower to the wheel rim than last year. Mercedes and Toro Rosso ran a very similar suspension in 2017 and 2018, and it's very noticeable. But now Toro Rosso have switched to a more traditional suspension style. So that is one thing that I've noticed. So that completely changes the whole entire philosophy of their car. That's quite an important change for Toro Rosso, that is for sure. And with the side pods, they are certainly a lot more aggressive than they were last year. They are certainly pushed up a lot more and a bit wider. They last season they were down quite a bit lower, but not as thick and not as wide. But this year they've certainly gone for a lot higher, very Ferrari esque in that matter.
Yeah, I have noticed that as well. The side pods, they do look definitely different. And also, one thing I'm starting to notice is the width of the front wing. You can kind of tell, and I'll show you in a minute what I mean, but you can kind of tell how wide they are compared to last year's front wings. They're basically the width, or as you know, as wide as the tire will go. But one thing I will say is with the rear wing, um, it's hard really to notice a difference between last year's rear wing and this year's rear wing. You can notice it if you get a certain shot of, say, last year's car and this year's car. But this Toro Rosso rear wing, you can see at the back there, is after looking at a picture from last year, the rear wing is slightly taller and I think is slightly wider than last year. But again, you can't really notice it. It's not, massive changes. They are quite small in comparison to other years where we've had a revolution in terms of aerodynamics. But yeah, with the front wing, I did notice that it was a bit wider than last year. And let's compare it to last year. So you can see the front wing there, a lot wider and a lot more simpler. Now look at this. This is last year's front wing of the Toro Rosso. For one, it's not as wide as the tyres. It's nowhere near as wide. And as well, look at the detail on last year's front wing. Look how many elements it has. All of the different parts hanging off of it. It's a lot more developed and a lot more complicated. Is last year's Toro Rosso front wing. And then if you go back to this, you can see the difference, a lot wider and a lot simpler, and that's what we want. Not only for better racing if it does enable that, but also I don't think these cars should really look that detailed and complicated sometimes. Sometimes a simpler looking car makes for a better looking car. So I think it looks quite good compared to, say, last year. And I am liking the look of it. And then again, you can see there the front wing, a lot more detail on last year's front wing. And then here is a side shot of last year's Toro Rosso. And again, you can see there is slight differences, not massive, but there is slight differences between last year's Toro Rosso and this year's Toro Rosso. But what do we think then of just the look of the car and how it looks in the livery? I have seen people say, oh, it's so boring. They've gone for the same livery for 3 years in a row and they should have changed it and stuff like that. The livery's fine. It's fine. It looks great. It looks better than the Toro Rosso did really ever. I think this is the best Toro Rosso livery that they've had. So I don't understand why people want them to go for a different one where they don't need to. It looks absolutely fine. And the overall look of the car, for me, is good, and I'm looking forward to seeing this on track when I go to the second test and also when I watch the first test back here in the UK. So I can't wait to see this car on track. Nib, yeah, in terms of looks, what do you think of this new car? Does it look good to you? Not so good? What do you think?
Well, I mean, it's getting a little bit old now. This sort of livery design that they've got, but it's still beautiful. It's still really nice. Obviously, this is just CGI of it, so once it gets on track, it always does look spectacular. Especially when they first had this sort of livery and they had that the rundown on the wet track. Oh my days, that was that looked very very nice. But there's no need for them to change it. It's a good livery. Don't change something that's not broke. Maybe the actual the owners and F1 actually could listen to that, especially with that silly qualifying we did a couple of years ago. Um, but anyway, the car looks good. For me, it does look better than the Haas's. The Haas just has too much black. As we went through the other day when that livery was launched, but yeah, it does look like a very nice car indeed.
Yeah, it's a nice car, and I don't see why they should have gone for a different colour scheme. But right now, guys, in the chat, let me know, what do you think of this new Toro Rosso car? How does it look? What do you think of the certain aero pieces, like the front wing, the barge boards, the side pods, the rear wing, the rear end of the car? What do you think about those parts of the car? And yeah, again, how, in your opinion, does it look? Let me know in the chat right now, and also in the comment section down below. But just before I read out the chat, just need to let you guys know that this week we are going to be covering all of the car reveals live on the channel, so don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. If you're new, bottom right of the screen, you can subscribe right there, or click on my channel name, then go to my channel page and subscribe to the channel, again, for more content like this. But let me just bring up a different shot of the Toro Rosso. There you go. I think a better looking shot of this car, and you really get a better sense of the new regulations with this angle of the car. But yeah, let me know right now in the chat what you think. And right, I'll take a look now. The Welsh Dragon, Toro Rosso copying, Ferrari with the side pods. That was to be expected. I actually saw a piece on Twitter. I can't remember who exactly it's from, but you're going to see a trend during testing and also during these car reveals that a lot of the side pods are going to be similar to the Ferrari of last year. So don't be surprised if you see that. Neil says, makes me fear the Red Bull will be the same livery. Not the same as this, but if it's the same, if the Red Bull livery is the same as it was last year, I think it'd be absolutely fine. I don't think Red Bull are going to go for a different livery. The Welsh Dragon also says, I wish Toro Rosso had a bit more red on it. Maybe on the nose. They do have it at the end of the front wing there, but yeah, I see your point. They could maybe go for slightly more red, but it still looks good to me. Nut saying 8.25 out of 10 in his opinion. Halab says 8 out of 10. SVE says 7.5. Seirogara says 8.5. Yeah, Nib, what would you give this out of 10? I'd probably give this a 7 or an 8.
Yeah, probably a 7 for me. Not deserving of an 8. I've posted on Twitter, or I've seen stuff on Twitter of the Haas with like the gold, with the Haas in gold and a few extra gold stripes. If that was actually like that, the Haas car, then that would be a guaranteed 8. But yeah, nothing has been that good, so certainly a 7 for me with the Toro Rosso.
Yeah, I'd say, yeah, I'd probably say 7. I'm not sure I can go for an 8, but compared to the Haas, this is a better livery in my opinion. Neil says, is it just me or is the nose skinnier? It does look skinnier, but I don't think that was a part of the new rules. But yeah, I thought that. But well, the teams always tried to go as skinny and as skinny as possible with their aero pieces. The Welsh Dragon says the rear wing has a weird curve to it, and so does the front wing. The rear wing, I think this angle shows the rear wing better in terms of what you're saying. Yeah, I kind of see what you mean, but you can't quite, see it properly. Also, I've noticed, I think is it on the end plates of the rear wing? There's a slight cut on it. I couldn't find a picture, unfortunately. Yeah, I couldn't find a picture, unfortunately, of it, but there is a slight cut in the end plate of the rear wing, so that's another interesting aero piece they've gone for there. Um, what do you think of the thumb noses? We said this on, was it Thursday of the Haas reveal? I think they look fine. I think it's probably the best solution to or for these front wings in terms of making it look as good as possible. I think it's absolutely fine. Damien, when you're going to look at the Williams, we're going to look at it in just a moment. We'll probably take a look in a couple minutes' time, and I'll let Nib talk about it because I know he has a lot to say when it comes to the Williams livery. Dot Hammer Times Table says those little black wings under the beginning of the nose. Hold on a minute. Those little black wings under the beginning of the nose, is that new? Let me. I think they are. I think I can't. I don't have a tool to properly show where my mouse is, but yeah, I think that is new. It's on the side of the nose, right near the end. I think that is new. I'm not sure if that is a new regulation or not. I don't think it is. I just think that's something new that they have gone for on the Toro Rosso car. But yeah, I did notice that when I first saw it. Neil says that the Williams looks bad. We'll get onto it in just a moment. Right, let me find a couple more and then we will go on to the Williams one. We do have some very interesting opinions when it comes to the Williams one. Neil says the front wing looks like a 2007/2008 like front wing. I wouldn't say that. It looks more like, say, a early 2000s front wing or early to mid 2000s front wing. I wouldn't say 2007/2008, but it does remind me of the simpler days of F1 in terms of front wing aerodynamics and how the front wing looks, and vice versa. Right, I'm going to read out one more, then we will go on to the Williams. Right, the Welsh Dragon. I'll read this one out, then we'll move on. I thought the rules said that the car must have LED lights on the end of the rear wing, but no sign of it. Well, it's not going to be a sign of it because isn't it, Nib? Only when they brake, it comes on. Is that when it? Is that what it is?
I can't exactly remember.
I think that's what it. I think that's what it might be. I think it's when they brake, it comes on. I think that's what it is. But yeah, it is a rule for 2019. But of course, the car's stationary, so you're not going to see that. But I will try when I go. If I do go to preseason testing for the second test, I will try to capture that under braking, if I can. Might be a bit hard to, but I'll try to. But right, I think we have said enough about this Toro Rosso. Hopefully it does go well in testing. But now, let's get on to the new 2019 Williams livery and Williams car. By the way, that sponsor you see on the side, Rokit, that is now their new title sponsor for 2019. So they are now Rokit Williams Racing from now on. And, well, let me just cut to a different picture there. Actually, we'll go back. That's not a good one. We'll go to this one. This livery, in my opinion, is the worst livery by an absolute mile compared to the Toro Rosso and the Haas, and most likely compared to any of the others that we're going to see, unless Mercedes go for this weird one that they're teasing. This is terrible. The blue on it, it doesn't work. It really doesn't work. The mixing of the blue and the white and the way they've done it, also with the black, as you can see there with the driver number and the sponsor, it doesn't look good. It really doesn't look good at all. I don't like it. I really don't like it. And I'll go to this picture so you can see a closer picture. It doesn't look good to me. It really doesn't look good. I'm just trying to look now because I haven't really had a proper look at the aero pieces, but when it comes to the livery, I've seen 3 or 4 different angles of it and it doesn't look good at all to me. It looks horrible. I'm just trying to look there at the barge board. I don't think there's really any detail there. Let me go back. No, there's no real detail on the barge boards there, so maybe they've done the same thing as Toro Rosso, but yeah, this this doesn't look good. This really does not look good, and I think this is a 20. By the looks of it, Nib, is this a 2019 or 2018 car to you? Because the front wing doesn't exactly say if it's a 2019 car or not. Do you know if it's a 2019 car?
I'm pretty sure this is their 2019 car.
Okay, because the front wing, it doesn't really. Maybe it's the different colours of it, but it kind of doesn't look like the new car. But well, it must be the new car. There you can see the front of the car, and the front wing again looks more simple, not as complicated as the old car. And if I just show you an image of the old car, you can see on the front wing, look at the detail, a lot more detail, especially on the outer edges of the front wing, which is what created the outwash, which is why you had cars not being able to follow as well as they really should in close racing. So I'll just go back to this one. They can see a lot simpler than this 2018 front wing. But now I'll go back onto this, and now I'm going to let Nib share his thoughts about this new livery. So Nib, do you like the livery, or do you really, I guess, hate it?
This livery is the worst livery I have seen on the F1 grid for a long time. I'm gonna read out a quote to you from Claire Williams. This is her talking about the livery. I wanted to show the world we are a fresh, revitalized brand. We didn't want to go back to the traditional blue after Martini exit. Describes a new era as a next gen Williams. Well, this is awful, and if this is going to be your new era of Williams, then it doesn't look good, because it looks like someone has been spray painting and they've run out of spray paint. It looks so bad. The fade into the white looks awful. If they had just had more blue, especially the front wing, the front wing looks absolutely awful. It doesn't even look like the blue is faded into the white correctly. Oh, it's disgusting. I would have much rather them just gone blue, like completely blue, and then have some white stripes or something. Yeah, there's the front wing. Oh, it looks so bad. It even looks off center. It even looks like it's been off center. It's such an awful livery. And then having the front wing itself looks awful with the colors. The little blue bits on the outer sides of the front wing, that looks awful. And then the black, yeah, whatever. But oh, it looks awful. It does look absolutely awful. And now you're saying that, I'm actually not 100% sure if this is a 2019
I
wing.
don't think it
I've got
is.
some better photos of the actual CGI one, so I'll try and have a look. No, that right there is not the is definitely not the 2019 wing.
Yeah, I didn't think it was.
The one in the video, I've got a better image of that in front of me here. That looks, yeah, definitely not the 2019 wing there on that car. So this must be a bit of a well, this just must be the 2018 car. So there you go. So we can't really talk too much about what the 2019 car is going to bring for Williams, because we've got like one picture of it. But yeah, the livery is absolutely horrid. I
Yeah,
have not seen a worse one in a long time.
yeah. I was gonna just say then, apologies about saying that this is the 2019 car. I wasn't really sure, to be honest, because let me go back. Yeah, the front wing here, it doesn't. When I first looked at it, one, it doesn't look wide enough to be a 2019 front wing, and also it doesn't. It looks more detailed than what a 2019 front wing should really look like. So I didn't think it was the 2019 car, but I wasn't sure. But at least now we know that it isn't the new car. But yeah, this livery it is terrible. And you made the point about the spray paint. They probably ran out of spray paint because they can't afford any more with the way this team is at the moment. And yeah, it's terrible. It is terrible. This I've seen Williams have better liveries in years where they were irrelevant than this. I can't think of a livery that Williams have had which has been worse than this. Maybe the 98 Williams. Maybe you could argue that, but at least it was fully one color that year. It was fully red. This is terrible. It's absolutely terrible. I don't like it. And well, if it performs how it looks, they're going to be at the back once again. And we'll just compare it to the 2018 Williams. Now, forget the whole front wing stuff, but if you look at the livery, the 2018 Williams looks so much better livery-wise than the 2019 Williams. It looks way better. And here's a side-on shot. Yeah, this is the thing with last year's Williams car, is even though it was so bad aerodynamically and had no real grip, it looked really good on track in terms of just being a good looking car. But this new car looks terrible. Looks terrible. So maybe it'll be the opposite. Maybe if they look terrible, they'll have a great car. And if they look good, they have a bad car. I don't know. But this 2018 Williams looks way better than the new Williams looks. By a mile. By an absolute mile. And I'm hoping that this isn't a permanent thing for Williams, because here's another angle. Yeah, it's really not a good looking car. It is not. And Williams, with their new title sponsor, they better hope that this car does go like a road kit. Yes, excuse my horrible pun. With the title sponsor there. But yeah, terrible. Absolutely terrible. And I'm hoping that, again, like I said a minute ago, maybe if their livery looks bad, their car will be good. Instead of last year, their livery looking good and their car being bad. So, fingers crossed for Williams, but the livery isn't exactly giving me hope. But let me know, guys, right now, in the chat, what do you think of this new livery? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you not mind it? Also, give me a rating out of 10, and we'll go through that in a minute. And also, post in the comments as well what you think of this new livery. And also, again, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, for more content like this. We're going to be doing all the car reveals live during this week, so don't miss any of it by subscribing. You can either do that by subscribing bottom right of the screen, or click on my channel name and go to the channel page and subscribe and hit the notifications bell. Before I go to the chat though, let me give a rating out of 10 for this new Williams. Let me just bring up the other image of the car. There you go. I'm going to give this a 3 out of 10. And that's me being generous. 3 out of 10 for me. Nib, what are you going to give this in terms of a livery and how it looks out of 10?
Well, you are being very generous, because I'm giving it a big fat 0 out of 10. This
Wow.
is awful. There's nothing that I like about it at all. It is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
0. Wow, that is. I knew you didn't like it. I didn't think you'd go for 0 though. That's wow. Again, though, I'm being generous because I've seen worse liveries, but yeah, this is terrible. But let me know, guys, in the chat right now. What do you think of this new Williams livery? Do you like it? Do you not? Again, give me a rating out of 10. I will go through as many ratings as I can, and also comments. Make sure to post your comments in the chat right now. And if you want to know anything, you want another angle of the car put on the screen to look at something, or you think you've seen something or whatever, that's not only for the Williams but the Toro Rosso, then let me know and I'll try and put it on the screen for you guys. But Right, let me go through some. So Neil says top 10 worst livery ever. I'll have to think about that. But yeah, probably. Aaron Chin says 6 out of 10. Halam says minus 9999999888888 out of 10. I think I got all the numbers in there. Nat says minus 10 out of 10. Christian 4444 says 6 out of 10. Dan Claver says 7 out of 10. Neil says 0 out of 10. Gina says it's poor and ugly, nothing more to say, just like Williams 2018 season 0. Zahab saying WTF is that? Yep, that's what I thought. Junkbox 4 out of 10. Seirugara 2 out of 10. Crusher says I think they should have switched the Rexona and the Rokit logo on the side. Again, excuse my horrible pun. By the way, it is UK Puns Day apparently, so at least I contributed to that. Jeremy Pope says 6 out of 10. Halam 0 out of 10. So he's giving it a better rating. Someone else there saying 6 out of 10. Spider Monkey says minus 1 out of 10, I think. Yeah, that is what he's saying. Leighton says it's like the aero testing paint. It is, but except it's blue instead of normally it's green. I see what you mean by that. Fraser says 3 out of 10. Nat says we need a microscope to find something likable about it. Well, hopefully the actual aerodynamics of the car looks really good on the Williams, but I don't think it will. Marco says it could be a light problem. I don't think it is. I don't think it is a light problem. I still think it looks bad. Even if the say natural light makes the car look better, it still looks bad, in my opinion. Right, let me just look at some more comments. Henry, 5.5 out of 10. It's a very mediocre livery. Kai Kent says 4 out of 10. Justin says 8 out of 10. That's interesting.
What?
Justin, post another comment letting us know why you think it's an 8 out of 10. I'd be interested to hear what you think about that. Neil says 100% not the lighting. Yeah, I don't think it is. It's just a bad looking car. It's a bad looking car. We'll go back to this. You can see the front of the car. It's weird because the side of the car, it looks very blue. You do have, of course, a bit of white there, but if you look at the front of the car, it looks like, again, they haven't really finished actually painting the car, because a lot of it is white and then you have these vague areas of blue around. So it's a weird looking car as well. And again, I don't like it. I really don't like it. Roy, they couldn't afford to paint. Couldn't afford paint for the bottom half. Yeah. The Welsh Dragon says Williams should get rid of the black and white and just stick with dark blue with the light blue. I was hoping they'd go for not a dark blue, but not light blue, like I don't know, an in-between type of blue with this livery, but they've gone for a terrible colour scheme. Absolutely terrible. Spider Monkey says, what the F is Rokit, Chazza? I don't know. I absolutely have no idea what Rokit is. Do you know, Nib?
Yes, I do. They are an up-and-coming phone company, and they also sponsor the Houston Rocket basketball team. So,
okay,
yeah, that's what they are.
Okay. Okay. Well, I guess they're more known than. Was it Peak, the one on the Haas rear wing?
Definitely, yes.
Yeah, they're going to be more known than them. So yeah, at least they are, legit and all that.
Oh, don't worry, they've used the same pun as you. On their official Twitter account, they've said, we're about to hashtag Rokit into Formula One.
Oh dear. That's worse than mine. Come on, that's worse than mine. Um, right. Let's go through a lot more comments. Justin says, I started watching from 2016, so I only seen Martini livery, and for me, the Martini livery looked awful. So this compared to it looks nice and refreshing. I can see why you'd think the Martini didn't look good. I personally liked it. I would never say I loved it, but I did like the Martini flavored Williams. Yeah, I if you didn't like the Martini Williams livery, I can see your point, but I don't. I can't say this is a good livery. I'm sorry, I can't say it. Of course, that's your opinion. Um, looks like a toothpaste tube. I was thinking maybe the Rocket sponsor was like a toothpaste company or something. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, that. Whoever said that in the comments is spot on.
Firdaus Zaman. Sorry if I've mispronounced your name, but yeah, that's a good comment. That's a good comment. Um, the Welsh Dragon. I watched F1 since the 90s and wish the rear wing should go straight down instead of a weird look. Even their team kits are trash. Well, I'm not sure I want to see what their team kits look like. It's probably going to be, the bottom half of it is going to be this lightish blue, and then the top half will be white, but even that, the sound of that, it doesn't sound good. It really doesn't sound good.
To be fair, the team kit that George Russell and Robert Kubica had on in this presentation actually looked quite nice. It was just a nice black sort of jumper, shirt, jacket, whatever you want to call it, with then like a nice sort of more electric blue on. So it actually didn't look too bad. It was mainly black though.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to take a look at that later on. Welsh Dragon, their team kit looks like a Mercedes team kit. Yeah, by the sounds of what Nib just said, yeah, maybe it is similar. Dan Claver, the lack of paint does save weight though. True, but they could have gone for something better than this, I think. And I don't know if Rocket, the sponsor, I don't know if they have a certain color. I know the Houston Rockets, who are the basketball team you were talking about, they play in red. So it kind of doesn't make that much sense. Because again, they play in red. There's red on the logo of the sponsor, but they've gone for light blue. So this isn't a sponsor thing. This is them going for that color. So don't think it's a sponsor. It's not the sponsor. It's them picking that horrible blue, in my opinion, of course.
Well, Claire Williams said herself that she pretty much chose it. Well, of course she would, because she is in control. She said on the livery once more, I wanted to show the world we are a fresh, revitalized brand, according to our Claire Williams there.
Well, she's made so many amazing decisions, you know, since she became the team principal of Williams. No wonder why she went for that. Absolutely no wonder. Right. I'm also, because I can see a lot of people watching at the minute. I will in a minute show the Toro Rosso car in case you guys have missed it. And then we'll probably come to the end soon, but I just want to get some more thoughts on this new Williams livery. Jan says, God changed this livery before Australia. Maybe they took up cooperation with Rocket so late that there was no time for decent livery. If it was a sponsor-themed livery, it wouldn't have been blue, because again, Rocket, you can see that they got red in their logo. So it would have been red if it was sponsor themed, but it's not. And as Nib just said, Claire Williams has picked this as the livery. So this isn't a sponsor thing. Maybe they picked that sponsor up late, I don't know. Also, talking of sponsors, can we see any others on any other sponsors on the car? So you got Rocket, Rexona have been with them since 2014, I think. And then who else have you got here? Acronis.
Obviously, Orlin, which is that
Yeah,
Polish company.
yeah, that's Robert Kubica, helping out there with his sponsors. Who else? Pirelli don't really count as a sponsor. Who's that? Sofina or Sopina? I'm not sure what that says there on the front wing. But yeah, not a massive amount of sponsors, definitely compared to your bigger F1 team. Jules says Rexona's colours are blue. Maybe
Yeah,
it
it's a
was,
dark blue.
yeah,
On a light blue. It's awful.
yeah, yeah. Annette says Claire should have left it to the professionals. Yeah, I I think they could have come up definitely with something better than this. If they wanted to go with blue, they should have gone blue all over. I don't think they should have mixed blue and white. I don't think blue and white really go together on a Formula One car. I don't think they do. If you're going to have white on the car, you might as well make it predominantly white or completely white, say like a Brawn 2009. Or if you want to go for blue, then go for blue. Like a, I don't know, like a Benetton of the late 90s or something like that. Let me just show that from Manuel. He says the new cars look crazy nice, but this livery man is bleep. Yeah, it is. It is. It just doesn't say fast and aggressive. That's what Annette says. Right, we'll go back onto the Williams in a moment. I just want to, because I know there are a lot of people that have just joined. Let me show you guys, if I can. Yeah, there you go. This is, guys, the new 2019 Toro Rosso that was revealed about, how long ago? About 3 hours ago. So here is that new Toro Rosso car. Also, let me know in the chat what you think of this car in terms of how it looks and the aero pieces, the barge boards, the side pods. Let me just find if I can, find the front shot of this Toro Rosso. Well, there's another angle of the Toro Rosso car. You can see the front wing a bit. I'll try and find the angle I did have a minute ago of the Toro Rosso where you could really see the differences aerodynamically between the 2018 cars and the 2019 cars. But you can see the front wing a bit here is a lot more simpler, not as complicated as last year's front wing. Also, Niv, looking from this angle, if you can just look at the stream, do you think they've gone for that wheel hub solution or innovation that Mercedes have gone for? Because it looks kind of similar, I think, to the Haas one that I know you mentioned during that reveal. So have Toro Rosso gone for that also, do you think, or do you think they haven't?
I can't really see too well, but once we get some closer up non-CGI shots at Barcelona, we will see if they are running anything similar. But it's certainly not that Haas solution where they had the gap in the wheel rim. So definitely not the same as the Haas one.
Okay. Just trying to find this front-facing shot if I can. So, no, that's an old Toro Rosso. Just trying to find the front-facing one. So I can. There you go. There it is. So look at the front wing, guys. You can see it's a lot more simpler than last year's front wings. A lot more simpler. You can see the different kind of side pods. As someone said in the chat a minute ago, they've gone for a similar side pod design to Ferrari. And also, Nib, you pointed out, didn't you, the new suspension as well, or new type of suspension. And if I just click off, actually, I'll just let you guys look at that for a moment. But yeah, you can see, again, the front wing, not as complicated. especially on the outer sides of the wing. That's really where the changes have come in. On the outer sides of the wing, the inner parts are really no different, but the outer bits where it was creating the outwash, which was affecting how cars were following, that is now gone. So you can see that difference. And also, if you didn't know, the 2019 front wings are wider, and you can see that it is wider than last year's front wings. But let me just go back to this. If you look at the barge boards, guys, one, they're not really developed. They are lower, which they need to be for this year, but they're not actually forward enough, which they need to be for this year. So this is, even though it's only a CGI render, this is only a launch spec of car. This isn't the real deal. The real deal will be when we get to pre-season testing. This is only a computerized render of what they are going for 2019. But yeah, no real serious development on the barge board area. But the side pods, we'll go back to this. You can see the side pods are a bit different. And again, they have gone for a 2019 like side pod with that Toro Rosso. I'll bring that back up. Right, guys, let me know in the chat right now. What do you think about the Toro Rosso as well? How does it look? What do you think of the aero pieces? The front wing, side pods, barge boards, wheels, suspension. What do you think of how the aero pieces look? And also let me know, what do you think of the livery? Do you think they should have gone for a different one? Or do you think that this is, good enough? I think it's good enough. I don't think they need to go for a different one. It looks good to me. So, yeah. Looks all good to me. But I'll just say, before I get onto the chat, for the 235 people watching live, just want to let you guys know, this week we are covering all the car reveals live on the channel. So don't forget to subscribe if you are new for more content like this. Either bottom right of the screen, you can do it right there, click subscribe, or click on my channel name, go to the channel page and subscribe. Again, for more content like this. But let me try and read some comments. Right. Recon, is that yeah, Recon says, I don't like the front. I like it. I like it. One, because it's more simple. The only thing I don't like about it is wider. But in terms of the actual detail on the front wing, I like it. I do. I don't think front wings, in terms of how they look, should be massively complicated. I don't think they should be. Ivan Jones, how well do you think the cars will be able to follow each other? I think it will be better, but not by a massive margin compared to last year. I don't think it'll be massively better. It will be better, I think, but not massively, because the teams are just going to make the downforce back, and then we're going to be, by the end of 2020, at the same point we were at the end of 2018. So, yeah, there you go. So I'll go away from that shot. Let me read a few more comments, and then I will go on, or go back to the Williams to let you guys have your final thoughts on that car. Let me look. Teg World says Toro Rosso side pods look great. I like them. I wouldn't say I love them though, but I do like them. Jules says I like the darker colours on the lower end of the car. Yeah. James says Toro Rosso should have had a darker navy blue in there, in line with their race attire. Yeah, they've gone for a different race kit for this year, and they haven't gone for a different livery, which is a bit weird, but it still looks, similar enough. So yeah, that's for me, fine enough. Gina says Toro Rosso 6 or 7 out of 10. Right, let me read out some more. Willafon says or asks, how do you rate the liveries? I rated the Toro Rosso as a 7, and I think Nib did as well. And then the Williams livery, if you are just tuning in for the first time, this livery, I gave a very generous 3 out of 10, and Nib gave it a 0. So, yeah, there you go. We are not approving of the new Williams livery. Not at all. Andrew Jury says the Toro Rosso is 1,000 times nicer than the Williams. Well, look at the Williams right now. Quickly memorize it. And then if you compare that to the Toro Rosso, there's no comparison to be had. No comparison. This Williams livery makes the Haas livery, the new livery, which was revealed last week, which me and Nib didn't actually like that much. And the more I look at the new Haas car, the worse it looks to me. This Williams makes the Haas car look like a 2004 Ferrari, in my opinion. This Williams is that bad. So yeah, I'm really not approving.
Just doesn't look professional.
No,
it doesn't look like it's been made by a professional F1 team. The livery is that bad. It's amateurish. It's awful.
Yeah, I see your point. I've seen plenty of liveries better in F2 than this. So yeah, this is not good at all. It really is not good at all. Ultraman Nexus says 6 for Williams and Toro Rosso. Let me know, Ultraman, why you think Williams is a 6. I don't see how you could go for a 6, but of course it's your opinion. Andrew Jury says this would look rubbish in F3. It would. Someone else saying, Kizwiz, I think it would have made it just a little better if the white didn't fade into the blue and it was just a continuous line. Also, the blue should have been metallic, kind of like Toro Rosso. That's another thing. That the blue on this Williams is not. It's not as blue as, say, this Toro Rosso car is, and as I think you just said, metallic. So yeah, I see your point. James asks, do you find that the livery got worse as the reveal video went on? I thought it looked great at the start. When I first saw it, I was like, you know what? This might not be too bad. But when they showed it and then I saw this image at the actual reveal event, I think at Grove, I was like, wow, that is actually terrible. That is terrible. And again, me saying 3 out of 10, that's me being generous. I'm not approving of this at all. That's me being generous. Nib, of course, is not going to be generous and goes for a 0 out of 10, and I don't blame him. Don't blame him at all. Magath88 says 0 out of 10. Williams should do a livery change mid-season. Mega Motorsport says wrong blue in my opinion. Nutnat says too much blue cars this year. How many more cars? Well, I was going to say Force India. Racing Point could be blue. Mercedes might have a slight bit of blue. I don't think they will have blue though. Maybe the very, very slight bit. Of course, Red Bull have their like dark, very dark blue, I guess you could call it. McLaren, they normally have, or if you compare it to last year, they had dark blue. So I don't know how many more cars we'll get with blue. I think the Racing Point car will be blue. I'm not sure how many cars after that will be. We'll have to see. Right. Andrew Drury. Now I won't even be able to feel sorry for them where they're being lapped. Yeah. I said before we came to the chat a few minutes ago, if this car performs how it looks, they're going to be even further behind than they were in 2018. Even further behind. Ultraman Nexus says blue and pink Racing Point. Maybe, but I think there will be blue on that car. Lady, I think Blabla, I think that is. Sorry if I mispronounced that. So Toro Rosso, no change. Red Bull also the same as 2018. Their car reveal is on Wednesday, and apparently is at Silverstone, just like Mercedes. And apparently, they are going to be doing theirs kind of at the same time, but on separate parts of the track. So be interesting to see what happens there. But yeah, Red Bull probably going to be the same as last year. EFL Ricardo, for me the FW42 is very nice. Recon asks, what are your expectations for the chassis on the top team's cars? All we had, as we have seen, some of the midfield cars. I expect the top teams to be basically. Go away from this picture a minute. We'll go back onto the Toro Rosso. So this Toro Rosso, you can see the new aero pieces, front wing, side pod, barge boards are different, but you don't notice them as much. Basically, it's going to be like this car on steroids in terms it's going to be more developed. There'll be more interesting pieces. They'll be trying to get as much downforce out of the car as they can. So there'll be as many parts, new aerodynamic parts on the car as they can get on. So it won't be massively different, but there will most likely be a lot more detail from Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes, and hopefully as well Renault and McLaren once they reveal their cars later this week. Let me go back to the Williams. Right, so, I'll read out 3 more comments or answer 3 more questions, whatever they are. And then I will come to the end of this stream because I think we have been on long enough. But thank you guys for coming along for this car reveal or car reveals of the Williams and the Toro Rosso. It's been very good to do this. Will F1, if they used a darker blue, it would be a good livery. James, Sorokin breathed a sigh of relief knowing he won't drive this car. I wouldn't want to drive this car. It doesn't look good at all. It really doesn't. Right. A couple more I'll find and then I'll come to the end of this stream. By the way, for anyone or for everyone watching right now, we will be live from any time after 11:30 AM UK time tomorrow with the Renault car reveal, because Renault have come out and said that to pay attention to their Twitter from 11:30 AM UK time on to see pictures of their new car. So we will be live basically anytime after then, as soon as we're ready and we get the pictures, the relevant pictures of the new Renault car ready to show to you guys. So yeah, that is coming tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, we have Mercedes, Red Bull, and Racing Point. That day, we're probably going to do 2 streams. The first one is probably going to be Mercedes and Red Bull, and then we'll do Racing Point later on in that day. Then on Thursday is McLaren. Then it's Ferrari on Friday. Then the weekend, where we'll be doing the podcast, previewing pre-season. Then next week, this time next week, will be the first day of testing. So it's coming very quick, guys, and the season basically has started, let's be honest. Right, I'll read out, I'd say 1 more, and then I'll come to the end of this. Of this stream. Right, and I'm not going to read the full name out because it's a bit weird, but the username, I'll just say McDonald's. He says that the Williams livery looks amateurish. To be honest, there are more people out there like Sean Ball and stuff who are extremely talented. Yeah. Why don't a team like Williams hire him to make a livery? I don't get why they wouldn't do that. And before I go, we had a brilliant comment earlier about the Williams looking like was it a toothpaste tube? Was that what it said earlier, Nib? Or what someone said earlier? I think it was.
Yes, it was.
Someone else has now said, Amir Pro, the Williams car looks like toothpaste. Oh,
it really does.
It does. It does. Sean Ball works for Renault. Okay.
He does.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't think he did, but well, at least Renault are hiring the right people. But right, there you go. There are your reveals for today, the Williams and the Toro Rosso. And Nib, as ever, thanks for coming along, analysing these new cars, giving your thoughts on the liveries. And I can't wait, and I know you can't wait to see the new car that your man is going to be driving this year.
Yep, thanks, mate. I'm certainly looking forward to the reveal of the Renault. I'm hoping for something very exciting, and although we probably won't be able to get too much insight on how the car's going to perform, of course we're not, because it's just a car sitting there. It's going to be interesting to see how it looks. So I'm very excited for tomorrow, and of course, thanks for having me on, mate.
Yep, thanks for coming on and again analysing and helping out the stream. But again, guys, me and Nib will be back tomorrow. Again, anytime after 11:30 a.m. UK time. It might even be, if they do reveal the car at 11:30 a.m. UK time, we may be going live around 12 p.m. UK time. So keep updated, keep posted. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and we will be live tomorrow and on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of all the car reveals. So if you are new, don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Again, you can either do it on the bottom right of the screen or click on my channel name, go to the channel page, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell. Like this video, and also comment down below what you thought of this video, and comment down below what do you think about the new Toro Rosso car, the new aero pieces, and the livery. And with the Williams, what do you think of the livery? Do you think it is as bad as me and Nib think, or do you think it's better? Let us know in the comments down below. But also, guys, don't forget to join us on Discord. The Discord server, the FW42 Discord server, is the best way to get notifications for my videos, so don't forget to join that. And also, follow me on Twitter at Shaz6110, and check out my website, shazerhd.com, for more content like this. But guys, until tomorrow, where we are going to be analysing and looking at the new 2019 Renault car, it has been me, ShazerHD. Goodbye.